Hey drivers, things are getting real around here. Today we have to load up the Bridgeport onto the flatbed trailer along with the lathe and a couple of other things and make a trip north. Hauling one of these things is no joke. We're gonna make it a whole lot easier by having this skid down here, or at least I hope. To be honest, this thing is unproven. I've rolled it around the garage floor, but I've yet to winch it up onto a trailer, which is exactly what we have to do today. And we gotta get it done because we're leaving tomorrow. One thing we'll do to help ourselves is lower the center of gravity by rotating the head around kind of upside down. Of course, that means we'll need to tram it in, but we do that periodically anyway. Also gonna drop the knee down as low as it can go, and it'll still be top heavy. We might as well take the rotary converter with us because I don't have any other three-phase stuff here. And we need to dig out the lathe, clean it up a little bit, and get it loaded up. In fact, I think I'm gonna do that first because I wanna make a skid for it, and I think it'll ride best at the front of the trailer. Oh, but there's more of a challenge. Let's go take a look. It's winter in Florida, and what that means is it stops raining. Of course, it still gets hot, but it stops raining, and whatever's growing in my front yard stops growing, dries up, disappears, and the front yard turns back to sugar sand. This is easy to get stuck in, and this is where the truck will be backed up to with the trailer so that we can reach this door. We're gonna have to contend with this because we don't want to get stuck with about 4,000 pounds of stuff on the flatbed trailer. Just trying to be smart here. I think my first step is to go ahead and hitch up the trailer, get it backed up and into place so that it's there when we need it. Then we will get the lathe all loaded up. I don't know if this is off-roader approved, but what I'm gonna try is to throw some plywood on the ground in front of the wheel, pull up onto it just a little bit, and hope that that just gets me started when I need to pull away with all that weight on the trailer. And then once I'm rolling, I think I'll be fine. And really the sand gets a little bit more solid up there, so hopefully this is just an insurance policy. This is the side that I'm actually worried about. It's so soft over here. And we're speaking from experience. I've gotten stuck with the mosey home a couple of times in my own front yard. A little embarrassing, but valuable information too. So hopefully this does the trick. This lathe has not moved in probably 15 years, and it looks like it. So we'll get it mostly cleaned up, organize everything, pack the little bits and bobs up. I don't want to get it totally grease free. Like, I can knock some dust off of it and re-grease it and everything, but really I want that protective layer of oil on here to prevent rust. And then when I'm ready to use it, we'll give it the full cleanup. We have some attachments here that I'd kind of forgotten about, to be honest. This is a steady rest. Good to have that for your specific lathe, right? Here's one that came with it that I don't know what it goes to. Obviously hasn't been used in forever. And then here's another steady rest. Let me see. Where would that go? Looks like it might fit right there. So that's cool. And then a face plate. And then this was a tool for loosening or holding something. Can't remember what I use this for. But we'll leave that with the lathe for now. Moving forward, I'll need to develop some better habits and wipe all of this stuff down and oil it. Really, every time I use it, I think I'll be better off for it on a number of levels, not just the condition of the machine. And I don't think it's ever really been all that accurate, but it comes down to the person running it, and I think better results will start with better habits. So yeah, we'll resolve to do a little better with this thing and other machine tools moving forward if we want to get those good results. One thing I have done is to wipe down the ways before I use the machine, which arguably is a better idea in my scenario because it's kind of a harsh environment. There's sand here in the air all the time. Just every time the wind blows, sand gets kicked up. And I don't really have a practical way of protecting the machine from that other than to keep it covered all the time, and that doesn't help with the humidity in the air here. Plus there's grinder dust. That's on the opposite corner of the shop. That was on purpose. Grinder dust is kind of a rough thing. Sand and grinder dust is going to accumulate over time, so if I'm only going to wipe it down once between uses, probably better to do it right before I use it, which is what I'm doing now. I'm probably going to lift this thing with a pallet jack, but another option would be to hoist it from here, from this support, and we would be using the tailstock and the apron to ballast, right, for load leveling. And so it's going to need to be all the way down here. I want to have that option, so we're just going to go ahead and clean the ways themselves off, get some fresh way oil on there. We can freely move back and forth. Plus it's kind of a satisfying thing to wipe down a lathe anyway. We have a better lathe where we're headed, a really nice LeBlond Regal servo shift, which I'm looking forward to cleaning up and learning how to use. But it's kind of nice to have a small, quick and dirty lathe as well. So we might just hang on to this thing. And if we find that we need the space more than we need the lathe, then we'll probably let this one go and hang on to the nicer LeBlond. In the immediate future, this lathe will be really nice because it runs on 110, and the electrical system that's currently installed will support that nice and easy. So yeah, if we need to do any lathe work, or when we need to do lathe work before we get our 440 volt 3-phase running, we'll have something that can do the job. Of routines are being disrupted. Just little places everywhere that I've stashed stuff around and on this lathe. We'll just have to reestablish in a new form. So I'm going to get this thing out into the open where I can build a skid underneath it, and then we'll winch it up onto the trailer. Really top heavy, and it's really skinny. We can't change the top heavy part, but we can give it a wider base. kind of see what we're building here. We're underneath the stand for the lathe, close to the ends there, so we got a wide base. I'm going to let this stick out a little bit further so I can put the wheels a little bit further out. All of our weight, well, most of our weight is back here with that motor and the gearbox up there, so this is not the center of gravity on this plane. It's going to be back here a little bit, right? So we'll treat somewhere around here as our center in terms of where we put the wheels on either side. All right, a little bit of a chore to slide these things together, but once it's together, it's pretty effective. I'm also thinking about which end of this I want to go uphill, right? So since this is the heavy end, I'm going to attach my winch to this end so that we're going up this way. Also, I'm going to put the swivel casters here, and the tug of the winch will steer it for me. And I'll put rigid casters back here so the tail doesn't wag around and roll off the side of my ramps. We're pretty level here, but we don't always get that, right? So I found it's a whole lot better to have 2 rigids on the heavy end and 2 swivels on the light end when winching things on and off of my trailer. All right, let's get the other, I guess, axle slid under here. And we'll put some wheels on, see if we can winch this onto the trailer. Okay, for setting my wheels, I would like to put them on that rack such that one side goes right in the middle and the other side also goes right in the middle, which will be the same distance from there to here. So we'll go about 53 inches or so. So we need to widen things a little bit by about 3 inches. We'll do about that much there and about that much there. That looks good. And kind of eyeball that one. And kind of eyeball this one. Let's see if we're close. I would say that's close enough. Okay, we'll lock those down and set up our winch. This has been a good winch, but it's seen better days and doesn't freewheel very well. I try it anyway, but yeah. Okay. When this does give up the ghost entirely, or I find a good deal, I will get a wireless winch. This is as far back as that remote will get me, and I'd really rather be back here with the thing that I'm winching, but I digress. This is a a little thing that I run into a lot. When one of the wheels hits the ramp or leaves the ramp at a different time than the other side. See, we have about 2 inches to go over there. It'll do this. It'll either turn it like it's doing right now, or it'll teeter-totter, or maybe a little bit of both. So we're going to watch this really close. Ideally, of course, we want both the wheels to hit at the same time. Just wanted a little bit of attention and patience, but we've got it. I think I'm gonna have to set up a light. We're gonna be pulling a late one tonight. Okay folks, this is the big one here. We need to get it prepped for loading, and then unfortunately we're gonna be loading things in the dark. Even worse than that, the last time that we moved this Bridgeport, it was with the fancy trailer that kind of came down and tilted back and made everything really easy on us. We're gonna have a little bit more of a hill to climb with this one, but I think we're gonna be okay, mainly because of the skid. It's got a wider footprint now. It's on wheels. It's not teetering on a pallet jack, which works, but this should be more stable. So provided the winch holds up, it's pulled heavier things than this up onto the trailer, I think we're going to be okay. We just have to be really cautious, take it step by step, check everything 100 times along the way, and we'll be all right. Just going to have to stay focused. I'm going to start by dropping the knee all the way down, and then we'll rotate the head around to try and invert it just as much as we can. That'll all serve to lower the center of gravity. This is a 2,200 pound machine, and it seems like most of that weight is at the top. I really don't want to do it, but I'll probably have to take the vise off or just slide it over, I guess, to get the head inverted. I'd really like to leave the vise on here. That thing is heavy. So here's the plan with these wheels and leveling feet and all this. We're going to get the leveling feet up, which I think we're there. We'll have them up high enough that they're not going to drag on anything. But then we'll be able to put them down again to get the wheels off the ground. We can slide the wheels off and then lower the unit down onto some 4x4s. And that should be pretty sturdy for the ride. Right now I'm focused on just getting it up the trailer. It's very important that you get your best help available to be there with you while you do your work. Isn't that right, Rodeo? You're gonna help, right? You're my helper. Thank you. He's in charge. I think we're ready to go ahead and winch it up onto the trailer. I did swap out for the rigid wheels, so I had to rob those off of the lathe, and now they're in place on the back of the mill. This is a big deal here. I kind of hate to move this thing, but there's just no way around it. Like I know I'm gonna need it between now and the time that I'm fully moved up there. If that's all right, I gotta finish up this move here. Parts of it are gonna be a little messy. Okay, let's get this thing winched up onto the trailer, a little bit at a time. We're going to get as close to the lathe as we can get. That was a piece of work. We have the lathe and the mill solidly on the trailer. It just needs to be strapped down. That's something that I want to do in daylight. So we're gonna call it a night. We'll probably load some more stuff early in the morning, get everything strapped down, and then we gotta hit the road and head north. Good morning. It's the next morning. We can see things a little bit better. We're gonna load this one up. I want to take the steel off of it, but yeah, we're gonna load this one up. Tire changer. I think that'll ride nice. And we have good access to get around the column and to our heavy loops there. One thing I need to make sure of is that I've locked everything. This is the point where I run out of plan. I'll show you something on this machine. The guy that I bought it from smashed his thumb right here. He was doing something and it came in that way. So that's something to be careful of. I think I'm going to put this side to the back of the mill, probably get it all the way up against the skid there, and then I think I'm going to leave it on the mover's dolly, but put some 4x4s underneath the mover's dolly. Keep it from rolling around. And we'll strap it down and be good to go. Everything looks pretty good on the trailer. I'm starting to de-stress a little bit. I have to admit that up to this point, oh, there we go. Things have been a little stressful because I was not able to start on this project as soon as I wanted, and I knew it would mean that we got a late start today, and that is indeed where we are. We're gonna, I don't know, we're probably gonna be a couple hours late starting, and that means we'll be arriving somewhere around midnight or so, but really that's not the end of the world. So okay, no big deal. I think we're doing okay, all things considered. Loading has gone decently well, particularly with the Bridgeport, which is what I was most concerned with. The lathe was a bit of a chore, but we got it. It's going to ride nice like this. I think we're going to end up with a really nice balanced load. Like, that's big. I would rather take an extra hour here than spend all day fighting a dangerous situation with the trailer. And so I think we have good tongue weight the way that it's all arranged. I'm going to take some of this stuff, none of it's heavy, but we'll pack this stuff towards the front as well, and the bulk of the steel is going up front. So I think we're going to be able to whiz down the road comfortably at 70 or so, And we'll get there when we get there. Besides, it's the holidays and this is not a cool time to be stressed. Everybody does it, but we're not gonna. Let's enjoy the day. After all, we're building a shop. So this shop is winding down, the old haptic garage, but there's gonna be a new haptic garage that doesn't have stained garage doors and walls and everything. That we have a little bit more space and we're gonna do a whole lot of cool things there. So yeah, let's keep pushing forward. We're gonna get this done sooner or later. Of course, I forgot to record, but it worked. We're all strapped down. I'm kind of worn out, but we have over 500 miles to go, so let's get moving. We're about 4 hours in, and everything seems to be going well. The sun is about to go down, but everything's riding well. I've checked the straps a number of times and I've only had to tighten up one of them. So if we can we'll just stay careful and keep chugging. We made it. It is a chilly 34 degrees, which is great for working outside. As you can see, we have packed so much stuff in here that there's really only room for the bus left, and we need room for a mill, a lathe, a tire changer, and another bandsaw. So moving forward, this isn't gonna work. We're gonna have to make some hard choices. Let me share a few of those with you. Grinder world, I would like to keep. I need to explore all of this stuff. Like, I don't know how to use any of that. Well, I've used a valve grinder before, but that space is taken. Eventually there will be an opening there, so that corner will actually have to stay somewhat open. Workbenches will go across the back wall, the mill over in that corner, and the lathe is pretty much where it's going to be, but we're bringing the little lathe on this trip, so I'm going to move that lathe back to the wall. And I need to clear the stuff out of the corner so the mill can go back there. This horizontal bandsaw will keep. The one that we brought up this time we'll use until this one is refurbished, and then probably sell off the little bandsaw. Might even sell off the small lathe once that one is up and running. We have two valve guide and seat machines, so we probably only need to keep one of those, if either, to be honest. In the corner is the small surface grinder that we ended up with first. And then I really lucked into the big Thompson 2F that we were just looking at. So this one will get cleaned up and sold off. Unless there's some horrible problem with the Thompson 2F, which I really don't expect. It came out of a government contractor's shop that was way overfunded. They took really good care of their stuff, and the bandsaw and the Thompson came from there. And I think those are just gonna be mint. This one is a cool little grinder. It's actually called a slicer. So some kind of hydraulic feature will increment it over for you with higher precision or something, I don't know. But the hydraulics are all taken apart on it and may be incomplete. I really don't know. To me, it was just gonna be a manual surface grinder. But we'll do what we can with that and then probably find it a new home. Fabrication stuff needs to be somewhere else. So I don't think I'm gonna have fabrication equipment in here. That includes the finger brake. This is a great tool. I just don't think it fits a machine shop motif, and that's kind of what we're going for here. The electrical stuff, we brought the rotary converter up, and here's the existing step-up transformer that we're going to use to go from 208 120 to 480 277. We're going to build a little hut for that. We brought up a bunch of concrete block to make an electrical and air compressor hut, so that'll actually be moving out. It'll always be tight in here. At every machine shop that I've ever been in has been just jam-packed with machines and stuff just stuck in everywhere, and I expect this will be the same. But for now, we're gonna see if we can get the mill in that corner. And then we just need space for everything else, and that means the bus is gonna stay outside for the coming months. It is hard to believe that we got all of this stuff up here. Like almost all of it came from Central Florida. On that flatbed trailer out there. We've been busy, folks. And the work is just beginning, getting all this stuff set up. But feeling pretty grateful right now and excited about the future. I guess we did what we set out to do. The mill is in its place and buried because that is what we had to do to make this space for the bus. This move has been a rewarding challenge and we're almost done. We have one big haul left before an epic RV trip to the new home of Haptic Garage. It's been almost a year now, and I have to admit, it hasn't been easy. When you're changing your life, only the right reasons will work. And if you know why you're keeping the project alive, you'll always find the strength to drive the dream. We'll see you in the next one.